So hi, my name is Andhika. So today I would like to share our research titled Firdaus, a novel approach to monitor the illegal trade of shark and ray products. So this research is funded by Illegal Wildlife Trade Challenge Fund through the collaboration between CFS UK, Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries Indonesia, Rekam Nusantara, and University of Salford. So I will start with what happened to shark and ray in Indonesia. So there is the global concern of the rapid decline of shark and ray population, which mainly due to the fishing pressure. As many vital area of shark is overlapped with the fisheries in Indonesia, high volume of the bycatch cannot be neglected. Changing environment and habitat destruction also add extra pressure to population. Economic value and food security of Indonesia community make conserving and managing shark and ray population even harder than ever before. So there are many measures have been applied to slow the rapid decline, such as establishing the marine protected area, establishing management measures like zoning of fishing gear, quota-based system, tirelessly informing community about the importance of shark and ray population, including set up the trade restriction for shark products. The well-known international framework is the CITES, the Convention of International Trades in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. So it's the international binding body to limit wildlife trades by having 3 types of species listing. So at the moment there is only 47 out of 1,200 described species of shark and ray listed under a CITES listing. So, but speaking about trade restriction, it's not so easy when we're talking in Indonesia. So in Indonesia, we deal with the large volume of landing. So we are the top shark landing country in the world. We also have limitation on geographical condition with the limited budget, species identification that's related to the type of products being of shark and ray product being traded. So we are talking about from fin to intestine. So this is really like zero waste product. So almost all the body part being used. So when the key feature of the species cannot be found and easily hard to identify, the DNA barcoding technique is the common method to help identification. So from the traditional DNA barcoding using the full set of CL1, or developing of mini DNA barcoding, especially for the processed product, a species-specific PCR, so single PCR assay to the multiplex PCR assay, or isothermal PCR. So there's also some people developing the microfluidic chip or using MinION to sequence the products. But as a human, we always demand more. We ask to provide a comprehensive assessment within short period and a few sampling. We ask to process bulk sample. We ask to provide universal tool for species identification. So here we offer to you a novel application, Firdaus. Yes, dust. So by collecting the trace and the dust left behind the trade activity to identify species being exploited. But can we use it? So to prove our concept, we go to Indonesia and collect the samples. So we collect 28 individual dust samples, which is pulled into 7 locations. We also collect 183 individual tissue samples from 7 locations. The method pretty much follow the meta barcoding protocol, which is like environmental DNA. So from the sample collection, DNA extraction, running the PCR. So we're using 12S primer, which is half length about 180 base pair. And then we pull the library, do the taptation, do the library quantification, and running the sequencing. And then we run the bioinformatics to extract the reads. So we obtain around 5.6 million reads from 28 discrete dust samples. So we refined the final dataset to 4.6 million elasmo branch only reads, partitioned into 62 molecular taxonomy units belonging to 7 different orders. Nearly 47 of the total reads belong to 15 CITES listed taxa, including high-profile pelagic bycatch species such as hammerhead shark, silky shark, and big-eyed treasure. So, while the scallop hammerhead shark could be found almost everywhere. The giant waterfish, which is recently added to the CITES listed, substantially presents in Indramayu processing plant. Among the non-CITES listed species, the graceful shark were predominantly found across sampling location, followed by the blue shark and tiger shark. So overall, we were able to identify more than 70 taxa across methods. However, the dust samples detect 16 more taxa than tissue samples and identify 2 unique CITES listed species. When sequencing reads from the dust sample were transformed into presence and absence data, species composition between dust and tissue samples were shown to be significantly different. Tissue samples saw a greater separation among locations due to the high grading bias introduced by the single specimen approach to sampling. On the other hand, dust samples saw a consistent greater alpha diversity across locations. Our findings shows that the trait monitoring using the dust meta-barcoding outperformed the traditional barcoding methods. However, 7 motu could not be identified to species level from the dust sample, including 2 family and 5 genera, with the species listed in the CITES appendages, namely wedge's fish and devil ray. The dust barcoding has much greater power to unveil a comprehensive portrayal of shark and ray species being traded for considerably lower sampling effort, about 28 dust samples compared 183 tissue samples. So less disruption of processing and trading operation in the visited hub. The sample also reveals some cryptic and rare species in the landing and market site in Indonesia, including winghead shark, big-eye shark, sand tiger shark, smooth hammerhead, and knife sawfish. In conclusion, our findings shows that the trait monitoring using dust meta-barcoding outperformed the traditional barcoding methods. By using shark dust, we are able to detect 16 more genera than individual barcoding. Using shark dust is effective at the capture the species diversity being exploited. The shark dust also is arguably to become a powerful and cost-effective monitoring not only in Indonesia but through the global trade. However, we still need extra work to develop comprehensive reference database, especially for the devil ray and wedge's fish. Thank you. So I open for question.